Hello and welcome to my tutorial. Today I will be using Ableton Live 10 to show you how to make an EDM track. However, you should be able to produce this beat on any other music production software such as Logic Pro, FL Studio, and even GarageBand. I have organized the track into three main sections, first coming the intro/break, then coming the build-up, and last coming the beat drop. I've duplicated that twice in order to make a full 3-minute length track. In my intro, I feature a break that has the same drums, bass, effects, and modulation as the beat drop. This is common in many EDM tracks because it helps familiarize the listeners to the fast-paced main beat drop early on in the track. Another way I familiarize the listeners to my beat drop is to have these quick lead hits, which are my three main synthetic instruments layered. As you can see here, these are the notes I have drawn in on my musical instrumental digital interface, also known as MIDI. Next, I will showcase how I made my drums, effects, and bass. Right before the beginning of my kick pattern, I include a big snare which is used by many popular producers like Martin Garrix, Brooks, and Jonas Aiden. I also have these continuous kick drums, which are just repeating every 4 times every bar. And also I have a layered bass, and I also have these whooshing effects, which also help to fill up some white noise. On top of that, I also have a drop hit stab, and I also have some layered vocal samples, which can easily be found and sourced online with free vocal sample packs. So this is what the break sounds like put all together. As you can see, there are 4 main differences in the build-up I have made. So in the build-up, there's no longer strong kick and bass pattern, which is replaced by the kicks that repeat at an increase in speed. I introduced a brand new flute instrument, which you can see the MIDI map for right here, a pitch rising effect, which will become ever more prevalent as your hits are dropped, and last, a vocal drop sample, which will come out now. So now that I've showed you how to make the introduction, the break, and the build-up, I'm going to show you how the beat drop sounds now. You can see here, I have used mainly the same elements from the break in my beat drop. I'll show you now, the MIDI mapping is exactly the same as the flute instrument I've introduced in our build-up, and I have layered that with my 3 synths, which I've made with Massive, which is a synthetic plugin made by Canadian Instruments. It works with pretty much any music production software. Here you can see we have our hits again, but I've introduced it with the flute this time. Also, we can see our percussions here. I'm going to show you the kicks, which are exactly the same as the ones I've used in the break. Again, for that familiarity aspect. Here are some toms that I use for percussion effects. Here are the basses that I have layered. So one is more of a sub-bass instrument, and the other one is more distorted and has more mid-level presence. And these are just some more effects that I've used, and just drums. And also here I have some short risers and drop stabs. And here again I have the vocal chops, which I have showed in the break. And once the first build-up finishes, I'm just going to have an impact, which is going to be the exact same as leading into the first intro and break. And for the second beat drop, I have had a melody change, and you can see the melody here. This is the new MIDI map for the second beat drop. It's essentially the same, but I've just moved a few notes around. The main basis, the beat, the bass, the drums, everything else is the same. It's just that for the second beat drop, to make it a little more interesting, I've decided to switch up some of the MIDI mapping, and that is very commonly used in many EDM tracks to keep the track more exciting and a little bit more unpredictable to the listener.